I'm happy to be here to talk with you today. For those of you who don't know, Eksigent is a company we've been around for about 10 years, focused on developing microfluidics and microfabrication for nano LC and microflow LC products and solutions in drug delivery, drug discovery and development, and areas like proteomics. We also are now a member of the Danaher family and part of AB Science as of earlier this year. And as I'll show you some products in my 5 minutes, they work wonderfully well with the 5600 that Jeff just told you about. But we also continue to support our products as standalone as well as integrated both hardware and software-wise with a number of other mass spec platforms. So this is our nano LC product. This has been on the market for a little while doing ultra-high pressure, high-performance direct pumping nano LC. And what I really want to talk to you about is a product I think I mentioned last year here is our chip LC NanoFlex. And this is a microfabricated a system that uses microfabrication to develop chip-based traps and analytical columns to really make nano LC for proteomics a bit easier to use. Gary talked about that. And we take advantage of this by using microfabrication and then packing these chip-based columns. They're about the size of a jump drive, and they go into a system that goes between the nano LC and the mass spec and allows easy plug-and-play connections with very low dispersion for low flow rate, accurate chromatography, and the ability to change columns in and out. One of the really great benefits that we found with microfabricating these columns, even though they're packed with stationary phases, that we can get very reproducible column-to-column behavior. So we test each one of these with a peptide mix and a longer gradient here, and I'll show you just a sample of peptide mix. And on the this is chromatograms from 3 different chip columns on the left, and on the right is if we take one of these peaks and we now look over 100 different columns, what we see is better than 2% deviation on the retention time for those peptides from column to column. And this is a great device now that when you want to do quantitative peptide and proteomics work. And one example of doing that is now to take 2 columns and switch back and forth from one column to the other, doubling your duty cycle. Well, it's really important now if you're trying to do a quantitative assay that you get the same chromatography every time. Here's 2 columns shown, top and bottom. And then what I show you here now are 320 consecutive runs across 2 different columns in a column switching assay across multiple days. And you see that the retention times are still very consistent across a long set of data in more complex matrix. So very briefly, we also have made some great advancements in doing micro LC for fast small molecule analysis. Rick King gave a great talk in our workshop yesterday about doing LCMS using our Express HT system, getting all the performance and sensitivity on these assays, but at about 10% of the solvent consumption and the savings that go along with that. This is really targeted for very fast analysis. And the last thing I want to tell you about is we've now expanded on that to do HPLC in microformat with sensitive UV detection. We've spent a lot of effort in developing microfabricated UV cell that gives us low sensitivity, competitive with other UV detection cell technologies, but very high dynamic range and linearity, which is kind of unprecedented in this kind of small volume cell format. So we have sub 100 nanoliter cells now that we can get good linearity up over 2 AU and down to very low quantitation levels. So I just wanted to give you a taste of the different products. We have a booth downstairs, and we'd be happy to talk to you about anything else there. So thanks.